Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Chaos Theory, Dinosaur Missions, Stegosaurus Discovery. This is set number 76965. It has 420 pieces, and I paid $40 for this set. This set retails for $65, and a big part of that, I believe this Stegosaurus is new. And then, with the dinosaurs, molded animals in general, prices do get inflated, and then also there's the IP and everything else. But I found this for a really good discount, taking it from $65 down to, it was like $39.50 or something like that, which is really significant, like a 30% or potentially a little bit more discount, because 13 8 1950, because it's just, it's over $20 off here, so it is over a 30% discount. So I was really interested in this at that price, and I'm excited to look at this. So in this video I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Jurassic World Stegosaurus Discovery set, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. I'll just say again, I moved recently and I'm still getting my recording space for these videos up and running, but I'm going to keep continuing to talk about Lego sets and other stuff here. I'm really close to a Bricks and minifigs, so I might be doing stuff with them once in a while, and a lot of great developments for me personally, but I haven't forgot about the YouTube, and I love doing this, so I will be continuing, even though I took a brief hiatus. And then I want to talk about the build. So of course we put together the Stegosaurus first, then we can start working on the truck. And this is really interesting because there is sort of a kind of feature that's somewhat hidden, and it's actually kind of nice. I'm not sure if it's, because I think this is Chaos Theory related, and I'm not sure if this is something that was like from the show directly, but it's kind of a hidden little feature in there. There are a couple stickers. Most of them are like internal stickers, just one maybe external stickers, or kind of like supplemental things. And then we can start working on some of these other accessories here. So there's a little bit of a trailer and kind of almost these little modules of scientific equipment or something that can be put on the trailer. That's its own kind of separate build. I like that a lot. And then we have a little bit of terrain, which is pretty standard for these kind of Jurassic World sets. We have maybe a big dino, a vehicle, and some terrain or something here. And we're kind of finishing that out. This terrain is actually bigger than a lot of other ones. It has some bigger pieces, those bigger kind of tree trunk pieces, which I think were pretty cool, and that ends up looking kind of like a lookout kind of station there, I think is the intention, which is great. So there's some really fun kind of interactability between all these different things, and I ended up liking that a lot. So very cool there. And now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is the Lego Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Chaos Theory, Dinosaur Missions, Stegosaurus Discovery set. This is great, I would say. This is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of good stuff here. It got good stuff that I think is sort of typical of these kind of sets, and maybe some of the best versions of the Lego Jurassic World sets with molded dinosaurs here. So there's actually a lot to get into, and we will just dive right in. The first thing we will look at is the minifigure. You get two minifigures in this set. The first one is a character. Now these are characters from Chaos Theory, so I do not know like a ton about them. This character is named Sam. And here we have them with a carrot on a stick here. Sam is wearing, this is Ben, and the other one's Sammy. My mistake. This is Ben. Carrot on the stick. They have kind of a beanie here, no alternate hairpiece. They do have an alternate face, kind of looking a little more scared. They have that hat there. And then they are wearing kind of a zip-up coat with a hoodie, a crossbody bag underneath there, or something like that, and then kind of a shirt underneath. No printing on the midsection, nothing on the legs, nothing on the arms. Back of the torso just has the hood there. I think this reverse face is nice. I don't know if this character is somebody who doesn't have hair, maybe, and that's why it's not included. Maybe they just are only seen wearing a hat, but this is Ben overall. You know, fine for this. Like I say, I'm not super familiar with Chaos Theory. I think that was animated, so I don't know how like truthful this is or accurate this is to the representation in the other media, but this is Ben in this Lego set, and then the other one is Sammy. This one is cool. I like this one a lot. We have a magnifying glass here as well as a camera, and Sammy is great. We have a pretty standard hairpiece. Face printing is nothing crazy. We do have the alternate face there. It's not necessarily a scared one, but a little bit of a different look. I think this torso is really, really good. It's really detailed. It's kind of like a winter sort of coat with like fur lining and a nice kind of detail down here. Detail stitching, the pockets, the buttons, all of that stuff. I think this is a really nice torso here. And then we just have like the undershirt underneath. No printing on the midsection, nothing on the legs, the arms. Back of the torso kind of has the back of the coat there with some of that same kind of like mountain looking design, which is on the front. I just think this is a super useful, super cool, I guess unique sort of torso. I don't know if I've seen this on other characters, but I think it's a great detailed torso that could be really, really useful for a bunch of other stuff. So I like that a lot. There is also a baby velociraptor here, so this is similar to other ones we've seen. Color wise, it's sort of I think it's just gray and maybe sand blue. The printing quality on here is really good. I don't know, is this just gray? I think so. But like the printing kind of pattern all the way down on the arm, the legs, up to the eye there is quite good. This one doesn't have any posability, so you can't move the arms, the legs, the head, or anything. There's one stud on the back. You can stud the feet down there. That's fine. We get those. And then the big one, the main one, is the Stegosaurus. Now, I believe this is a new mold for this set. I don't know if it's one of the sort of... I don't know how many Stegosauruses there have been, or if there have been any molded like Stegosauruses like this, like a big or medium sized one here. So this is a big part of the set. And the main sort of piece of this was in a paper bag, and then the other pieces, there's only 5 pieces total for this that you like put together. Those were mixed in with the other pieces, but this is really cool. So you add on the legs. So there's 4 legs. The hind legs are a little bit different than the front legs, so each one of these legs is an individual piece because of that, because the front and back aren't the same, and then right and left aren't the same. So those attached kind of with the ratchet joints they've been using in these for a long time. You know, lots of area to stud these down. We can move the feet pretty far forward and backward. And then the main body, you know, actually is a couple pieces put together. It just comes assembled. And this is pretty nice as well. So the big kind of belly piece here is good, and then there was a lot going on for the back here. These fins or ridges or spikes are done nice way. They're kind of offset like that, and these are kind of the rubbery plastic, so they have a little bit of bend to them. I think that's a good choice for these. Same with the tail and these spikes here, so a little bit of rubbery there, and you can kind of see where the joint is, where this joint's kind of the hard molded plastic, but this is connected with the kind of ridges all along the back. I think that's really good. I don't know if like printing on here, I think that could have been nice, although I don't know if that's accurate or not. There is printing on here, of course. We can see kind of all the scales or whatever they're supposed to represent, the texture of the side here. We move up to the head. The head is pretty small, and the one thing that I'm not like super jazzed about for this is that the head is just molded with everything else, and there is no articulation. You can't turn the head, pose the head, move the head, spin the head, bend the neck, any of that. You can't open the mouth or anything, so we just have this here. You can, I believe, clip something into the mouth there, which is nice, but we can't pose this at all. The printing on here is good. The eyes look nice. Maybe some printing on the top could have been good as well. Other side is very similar, but you know, I think I do like when we can move the heads of these. If that means we see a little bit of a weird joint back here, I might be willing to take that just so we can get kind of more expressive molds here. In terms of posing this, you know, you can kind of get this close to the ground. If it's, you know, you can kind of get it to lay down sort of in kind of a moving pose. I want to say it's relatively sturdy. Because the front and back legs are like different size, you know, balancing here might be a little bit difficult, but we can probably get something that is close to something like that. Kind of makes it look like this is walking in a somewhat natural way. It does have kind of a natural lean to it. Just the hind legs and the are longer, and the place where you connect them sort of seems like it's a little bit higher at the rear. If I can take these off, it may not actually be that they're high, but I think they are. Yeah, there's a difference in height here. So it does have kind of that forward lean, which is maybe useful, maybe also not. I found that it's not super sturdy. I mean, with all four legs, not a big deal. With kind of getting it into other poses, I found that it was maybe not as sturdy as some of the other dinos, but it's okay balance wise. You know, like this, it is not like super balanced. So when I set it down, I have the front leg kind of raised here. This leg is, or this foot is still kind of, it's then like leaning to the side and still making that sort of touch the ground there. But big dinosaur here. And like I said, I think it's new. At least this version of it is new. I don't know if they've done a ton of different versions of Stegosauruses in the past, but this is a dinosaur that I didn't have, that I was really excited to have. And, you know, a lot of the value for a set like this comes in this, especially for new molds and all the complicated processes that Lego, you know, assures us that it is expensive to make these pieces, and I don't doubt that relative to the other rest of the Lego portfolio. These are specialized, they're big, potentially like several new molds for this, and lots of stuff went into it, development and all that other stuff. I think the production work generally is good. Maybe I would have liked a little bit of more articulation, even if that means we have like a gap here. Or even if they do it sort of like with so I can like rotate it side to side, not necessarily like turn it, but like tilt. Maybe that would have been nice. Here it's fixed, and I think that limits a little bit of how expressive it can be and what can be done with it. But I'm very happy to have a Stegosaurus here. I think that is really great. So those are the figures, and then the rest of the set, besides the minifigures and the two dinos, is kind of this small little terrain kind of camp build and this vehicle build. Now the start of the build is on the vehicle, so I'm going to actually hold that off until the end. That is kind of the main thing besides the dinosaur, but I'd maybe like to cover some of the side stuff first. So one of the things here, we have a little bit of terrain just on a like 6x6 circular plate there in green. We have a nice use of some botanical elements, or you know, like plant life elements. So these are the double wide kind of fern pieces, and this is the single one in dark brown or dark green, and these are kind of that lighter green. And this sort of represents a nest area here. So there's some good stuff, and we have an egg. We also have kind of that eggshell flower piece and a couple fragments of egg as if something had just hatched. I think that's represented nicely here, so I appreciate that. This does have a clip on the side, and that's so it can clip to other parts of this set. The other one we have here is sort of just a log on the side and a little fire, bonfire type of thing. Another fern over here, another clip over here. This is a sticker. So that's the kind of tunnel or the hole through the core of this log. And on the other side, we have another sticker, a different one that has some eyes in there. Now, I'm not sure if that's supposed to represent a dinosaur or a cat or some other sort of thing. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but that is a sticker there, and sort of has a ominous kind of menacing look to it, although I could see it being used as like a sort of a fake out scare or something like that. There is a couple studs here which are integrated well, all things considered, where like a character could sit, so we could like put a character on there. And again, this is done on the same 6x6 plate there, and also has the clip here. And then the bigger kind of thing is sort of this lookout tower type section, sort of built on a tree here, and this uses two of these rounded plates, and then we build it up. We have the modified plates with the bar on either side. That is where these kind of little sub-assemblies can clip to bring this all together. I think that's a great idea to do that. They can be easily separated out and spaced out. They can also be clipped together. I always appreciate stuff like that, and I don't think it's like too unsightly to have these things on the side. Tree is done similar to like some very, very basic trees in other Lego sets. There's some pieces here that I don't know if I've seen before. So the tree like trunk pieces, there's two pieces which are these kind of curved panel pieces, but they have these branch pieces or these kind of half arch pieces molded onto them. So you get two of those. Do have another sticker over here, and then we sort of build that up using more of these kind of arch pieces and different color of the leaf pieces there, which is nice. We have a squirrel here, which is good, and then there's sort of a little kind of cutout in here so you can see the inside of that. We can put some stuff down here, more leaf pieces on the back, and then there's kind of this platform up here. So this is intended to be, I think, kind of a lookout, kind of a thing. I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to represent a real tree that this was built into, or if this is all sort of, you know, not real but meant to blend in. We can clip the ladder over here so a character can realistically get up to the top and stand where the guardrail is there and everything, and that is very cool and fine. So we get that attachment there, and this is okay. It's you know, it's not crazy big, doesn't use a ton of pieces. Love getting the floral elements there, and there's some use here, and then as kind of like a centerpiece to all this, I think that is pretty good. One of the things I did make note of, and I'm a little bit I guess I don't know what to do with myself here, is that as far as I remember and as far as I know, there is no frog in this set. In a lot of, or I used to think almost every sort of Jurassic Park, Jurassic World set, there would be a little Lego frog, partly as I think an homage to the Jurassic Park DNA splicing thing. We now know that, you know, that sort of thing, like they weren't that close to reptiles like that, but I'm still very used to seeing frogs of various colors and types used in various ways, hidden or used as something else or whatever in a Jurassic World set. And I know like Lego designers do love to put frogs and stuff even in sets that like aren't Jurassic World, but for some reason I thought the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park stuff, the frogs were almost a guarantee, and I'll have to double check the inventory to see if I'm just missing something, but I really don't remember, and I just built this, I don't recall any frog being used, and it's a little bit of a bummer. So besides that, this is like a substantial little sort of side build, kind of part of the main build, but then the rest of the set is this vehicle. So we'll do this in a couple different parts. So we have a few things. We got a trailer over here. We got the main kind of van or truck. So looking at the trailer, just because it's pretty, it's pretty small and easy, even if it's one of the later things you build. We got this little kind of four-wheeling trailer here. We have the kind of extended mixel ball joint used for the hitch, or like a train connection that's been used for a long time there. So we can see that. Color-wise is good. You know, wheels spin, all that's nice. It's essentially a 4x6 kind of base, and we build all this stuff on it. So over on this side, we got some like controls that's printed. Over here we have like a monitor with a Stegosaurus. That is a sticker. We have like, I don't know if this is supposed to be just kind of a microscope here or something like that, where we could have like an eyepiece and whatever. And then we also have kind of a radar dish thing here. Some other little details on the side. I think these are cool because these are their own little sort of sub-assemblies. So we can take these off really, really easily. They're just connected with a couple studs each, which I think is quite good. I mean, theoretically, they could be switched around a little bit, you know, like that. I don't know if they can also go front to back. I'm thinking maybe not, but also maybe. So we can get them kind of side to side like that, and I think that kind of stuff is really, really fun and a nice use of pieces, instead of just like locking these things down. If these sub-assemblies were studded down, you know, on all 8 studs there instead of just 2, you know, we wouldn't get that extra little flexibility. I don't think there's a real structural issue with those like falling off or anything like that. It's just a nice kind of change to allow for different play and display and stuff and storage. So I really like stuff like that. I think it's well implemented here, even in something like little like this. There's also a jumper here where something could be put on there, and we got the radar dish and all of that good stuff. I think this is really nice. But then the rest of the set is this kind of truck or van or something like that. So this is pretty cool. It is 6 wide for the most of it, a little bit wider at some points. We can look at the bottom to see what it looks like. Doesn't use a chassis, just uses this 2x plate. We build that out in the middle here with some 4x6s and some rail pieces. Got the axle plates in there. Pretty standard kind of off-roady truck looking wheels. And the build of this is pretty straightforward. I actually thought, you know, adding the kind of rear bumper pieces here was kind of nice. There are still more stickers in this set besides the one I've already shown. So the couple on the like log there, one on the tree, over on the display there, those are some of these stickers, and then the other 5 are on the vehicle here. One of them can be seen on the back. Looks like stickers there. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to go internally. We do have a spare wheel at the back, which I think is really nice. We have a spot for the ladder to sit. The grill is done well there with a little bit of that kind of drum lacquered silver, and nice use of these kind of robot arm pieces for the front section there, and nice studs on the side building. Again, this is a super simple kind of connection that they've done this kind of stuff in lots of different sets and city sets and in all sorts of different stuff. The roof is like usable space up here, even though there's different kind of stuff going on. We have a couple crate pieces that we can put on, and again, these are really easy to take on and off because this only, you know, this was only studded down on one piece. There's only 4 studs at the top, and they're using that 1x4 with just the 2 studs and kind of tile in the middle. So when you put these on here, this one might, you know, be studded onto 1 or 2 of those, and then this other one could be, you know, in there. We could also like stack this up on the top, I think, which could work. And these are just, you know, places to store things, other accessories, magnifying glass camera, carrot on a stick, different stuff might be able to fit in these, which I think is good, and they're easy and accessible. There's a couple other extra things up there. Roof, really easy to take off. We use the rail pieces here and just a couple studs there. Very simple subassembly with the lights. We have space for 2 people to sit in there using the jumpers and some of these kind of panel pieces. We have the printed kind of dash over here and steering wheel over on the left. I don't believe there was any kind of real detail inside where the engine would be or anything like that. And then the rest of it, kind of the main sort of body or the back or the sort of storage area of this, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of studs on top. There's not like a ton of stuff on the side, but there is some good stuff. Again, looking at the back, you may have already seen, because it is kind of going crazy as I handle this, we can flip up the back to kind of open it up. So instead of like opening up like a door like that, kind of flip it up like a trunk, and we can sort of see in here. So there's some stuff kind of floating around in there. We have just the clip hinges there, which are nice, and there's also these up here, so we can actually fold this up even more where we can see access to the inside. Now the inside's interesting because there's a couple different things going on. One of them first is this, which is kind of like a sleeping area, printed map tile, which I really like. And this is kind of it doesn't get studded down in there, but it fits really nicely inside the back. I think this is supposed to be like a sleeping area, so this could be taken out and maybe integrated with the kind of camp area there. A couple extra studs, maybe like a little, either a seat or a table or something. And then underneath that, this doesn't come out. This is like built into there, but this appears to me to be like a sort of bath or something based on the colors. And there looks to be like there's some cheese wedges down here that are clear. Maybe that's sort of bubbles or soap or something like that. I almost think this is supposed to be a bath. The other stickers that are on here are all internal. So inside here, and there's another one right there, and then same on the other side. I mean, they're not the exact same stickers, but, well, these ones that are kind of like the windows or whatever those are, or cabinets or something, storage, those two are the same. But these other ones with the kind of cork board with all the different pictures and documents and red string and everything and post-it notes and stuff, those two are different. I don't mind stickers like that. I don't love putting them on the inside of like panels like this, but internal stickers for extra detail inside, I'm usually pretty fond of, and I just think this is really kind of an interesting thing. So if it is supposed to be a kind of bath or a tub or something, I don't know if that's for the characters themselves or for the dinosaurs. I want to say maybe the dinosaurs there, but I think that's kind of nice, making use of the space that's in here. And I'm assuming that is also relevant to something that happens in the show in Chaos Theory. So maybe this is, something that needed to be in there. There's not a way to like store the trunk in the back. I think we might be able to fit some of this stuff in here, although I might have to take it apart more than I'd really want to. So yeah, I don't know if it's really designed to kind of be able to switch these things out and whatever. I mean, this doesn't really make a ton of sense either. But, there's maybe a way, and I'm here for kind of more like play and discovery and trying to do stuff. I mean, that's not that bad. I don't know if it's intended. I didn't really destroy anything. It's just not back there in a super nice looking way. Oh, one piece did fall off, unfortunately. So maybe there is a way to kind of do this a little bit better than what I did. I wonder if kind of making use of the 2 stud wide nature of that, we can kind of tuck that down in there, and then maybe we can slide this in there. Ooh, flip this down. Okay, that is not bad at all, and again, non-destructive. So what I did was kind of use the rails of these like panel pieces to fit the top kind of sub-assembly, because it has those like brackets on the side. Let me see here, because it has like the bracket there with the lights and the control panel. It's too big, it's too wide to fit down here, but if I go up there, it actually slides in kind of nice. And maybe if I did it this way, it would be even better, because I wouldn't have to go past the kind of second little section of that. So we can fit that in there, and I think that's pretty good and reasonable. And the same for this kind of little bit sliding in right there. I think that's a totally, I don't know if it's intended or it was tested or anything like that, but that kind of stuff I really appreciate. This does have a really satisfying kind of closing, even though this doesn't attach to anything and doesn't clip to anything. And because of that, it, when handling it, this might be prone to opening up and stuff, and then that might be prone to falling out. But I think that can be managed decently well. And just kind of getting this back to its original form here. I'd have to look at the official images to see if there's actually anything sort of showing that these little contraptions, these little sub-assemblies can fit inside this truck. I mean, the fact that whether it's intended or not, they do, and I think that's really, really nice for play. I think that's fun, and it's just like a good design to have stuff like that. I can show what it looks like with the a character kind of in here, and again, we only stud them down a couple there, and having two characters side by side and essentially a 6-wide vehicle is great that we're able to do that now. Pop this character over on the other side, and their hat fell off. And then again, these are only studded down on 2 studs, those jumper plates, so it's really easy to get them out of there. And they look good in there side by side, nothing weird. Their arms aren't coming out at all, and I think that's nice. It probably, there's no doors here, but that's okay. And that's kind of everything that's in this set. Again, here's the sticker sheet. So this one's on the back kind of bumper on the door there, and then these other 4 are inside. This is on the tree, this is the display, and these 2 are on the log. The log ones and the tree one, those could probably be left off unless you're really committed to the lore of the show. Ultimately, the only one that I think is like really probably good is the one that it's like the screen monitor here that isn't necessarily like show specific or anything like that, but like useful and informative in regards to the set. So I do like that one. The other stickers, even the internal ones, I don't mind those in just generally on my feelings of them, but if someone wanted to avoid stickers because they hate stickers, or they want to like repurpose some of the stuff in this to something else, and not be Jurassic World specific or Jurassic Park, but maybe their own kind of park or their own sort of thing, these kind of things could be left off with relatively little impact, which I think is nice. And that's everything that's in this set. I mean, you get a good amount of stuff here. I'm trying to see if I don't know if this actually fits in there. I'd have to maybe take it apart for that. Maybe I can fit these 2 back there while I do that. I don't know if there's any other place for this to be stored, really. I'm thinking the character could hold on to it. I don't have any clips on here, do I? No, not additional clips there, but that is okay. Maybe the Stegosaurus has wrestled this away from Ben and is excited to eat the carrot on the end there, and maybe we can put the this little velociraptor over here or something like that. And that's everything there. So I will show the extra pieces because we do get some, not a ton, but what you would expect. all your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, the flame piece there, the sprig for the top of the carrot, all of that little stuff. Nothing too special here, but good to get those. And this set is 420 pieces, and I paid $40 for this set, $39 and some change. This set retails, however, for, let me double check, I think $65. And I get it a little bit, you know. Actually, at the time of recording this, there were some other Jurassic World or Jurassic Park sets that came out. There's one that's like maybe $40 with 200 pieces, and it comes with a T-Rex. There's another one with a smaller dinosaur, and maybe it's $30. But you know, these kind of sets and the price points relative to the piece count is just not. Oh, interesting. I'm seeing that in the official images, this was shown as like, you know, we could put this on there and make a little makeshift desk or something that someone could walk up to. That's in the official images there, and I don't think I see anything where we put the extra gear in the back, but that is okay. Interesting stuff. So Jurassic World sets or city sets or anything that comes with like bigger molded animals, especially if they're new and new prints and new molds and all of that stuff. You know, if I'm thinking about this, I think Lego, in terms of their like suggested retail price for like this kind of stuff, is probably $20 or maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I don't know the market for this in particular. I know like there's a set that came out somewhat maybe recently with the Titanosaurus. You know, that one is like a new thing that is going to be an expensive set. That's an expensive dinosaur, or maybe this is about to come out. I'm not 100% sure, but let me see if I can find just a price for the dinosaur here. I might be that it's all kind of let's see. One set, items for sale. The cheapest one on Bricklink in the US is $40, $42. I mean, so realistically, if this is that much, I mean, that's just what I'm seeing. You know, this is only in one set so far, and that's just looking at Bricklink and not looking at maybe eBay or something like that. But the value of the set, a lot of it comes in here. You know, the rest of the stuff, figures, relatively inexpensive. Maybe they're $3, $4, or less, depending on their, you know, who they are, the detail, and everything else. And in like play sets and production sets, try to keep them priced maybe lower than in my head, in my approximate value, than like CMF stuff, because those are a different thing altogether, and I don't like saying these are worth the same as a CMF. A ton of the value is in the Stegosaurus right here. You know, the baby raptor there, probably not a ton, and like Lego pieces themselves for like the rest of this stuff, you know, not crazy. But I would say for this vehicle and the little trailer and the terrain, remove the big dinosaur here, and we're still probably looking at you know, a $30-ish price point. I might prefer it to be less than that, but if this is maybe 20, you know, 25, and then 5 over here or 10 over here, however that breaks down, I think there is a lot of value in this. And then let's say, you know, that Lego prices this at $20. Is there $45 worth of value over here? I mean, it's not quite, but it does appear that this dinosaur might be even more expensive than I initially would have thought. I think part of that is just because, yeah, one set, it's the only one, so this is the only way to get this, at least for now, and that with that comes some sort of exclusivity, whereas like some of the other dinosaurs we've seen many different times. I'm wondering if I can check quickly. Okay, this is an older one. Oh, that one's very old and very kind of cool though. Kind of like that one. There just hasn't been a ton of Stegosauruses. Maybe the last ones are in like the early 2000s. There's one in a Marvel set. So, you know, if someone really wants this animal for their own kind of thing, this is the way to get it. And so it does maybe command a higher price point for that in the aftermarket now. And there's value there. So ultimately, you know, the $65 for this kind of makes sense from Lego's perspective. I would still like it to be cheaper. Maybe, you know, 60 would be better. 55, 50 I think would be like a really solid price point for that. That's like saying $30 for this stuff and 20 for this, or 15 for this, and, you know, 35 for this stuff over here, depending on how it breaks down. I mean, this is a substantial vehicle. It's got weight to it. It's got good functionality and good play. Same with the little trailer here and everything. And then the terrain is relatively substantial as well, even if it's sort of empty at the back. There's some bigger pieces in there and nice stuff for the set. So, you know, I think 50 is probably the lower end, and maybe that's unrealistic in 2025. I paid $40 for this, or a little less, which is a big discount. I said at the beginning, it's like, yeah, it's more than 30% off, and that's like a really, really good deal. I think getting it for the deal that I got, I mean, I paid $40, a little less before tax, a little more after tax. But if it's true that I could sell just the dinosaur for $40 on its own, you know, then I could sell this and it paid for the rest of this. I'm not going to do that. I don't really do that. But like, you know, I got a really, really good deal on this set, and because of that, I feel, you know, really good. I think there's a pretty strong case for the $65 price point. I don't know what Jang said about this set when they reviewed it, or if they reviewed it. 60, yeah, better. 55, better. 50, really good. I think that's probably close to the best I could expect, considering everything we've talked about and the value of this. Either that's the value that Lego ascribes to it, or what the market ascribes to it after the fact. So yeah, 65, it's probably not that bad of a set. I think it's probably better than some of the other Jurassic World sets that came out after this. The one with the, you know, there's just like the $30 and $40 sets that are small. This one, 420 pieces, 419 plus one, and, you know, a good amount of stuff here. Big dino vehicle terrain. That's all that I would really ask for a Jurassic World, Jurassic Park kind of set like this. So I'm very pleased with this. I think this is great. Very happy I got a good deal, and I think that's it. So great. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Jurassic World stuff, and then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming Lego videos. And if you want to support this channel in a different way and support my videos here, you can do that here on YouTube. You can give money to the channel with membership, supers, and thanks. There's a Patreon. It's linked in the video description, patreon.com/SoBricks. There's a buy me a coffee link. There's some affiliate links. There will be an affiliate link to buy this set. If you click that link and buy this at no additional cost to you, or buy this or something else at no additional cost to you, I will get a small percentage, which every little bit helps, and it does add up. So if you're interested in this and you like what you see here and there's a good deal or whatever, maybe consider clicking that link as a way to support, and I appreciate it, so thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks, bye.